Hey everyone, this is Friedel Hagaraja Rave, and I'm here with my recap and review of Claws season number 4, episode number 7. We only have 3 more episodes left, and a lot happened in this episode. So it opens up with Desna having this nightmare where she ends up seeing the graves of the people that she has killed. There's a grave for Bambi, and then she keeps on walking and she ends up finding her own grave, and she wakes up. So then we cut to Jen and Polly, and yeah, Polly is ready to marry Axel, and she ends up talking to Jen about it. However, Polly is feeling a bit conflicted because Polly is like, you know what, the person that Axel has fallen in love with, that person is a lie because Polly Mountbatten doesn't exist. And what do you want me to do, Jen? Any suggestions? And Jen is like, hey, Polly, keep on lying. People keep on lying, so it won't do you any good if you tell Axel the truth. So keep on lying to him. And you know what? I'm with Jen. I'm like, Polly. Even though you seem to love this guy, keep on lying. Who cares? Who cares? Who knows how long he has to live for? And yeah, by the end of the episode, we do know that Axel is no more. So Desna walks in and Desna is like, "Hey, I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you guys about something important." But Jen is like, "Hey, we have some good news too. Polly is getting married." And Desna is like, "Okay, I'll host." So this is where Desna is like, but yeah, coming back to the important thing, I need to talk to you guys about what we need to do about Claws Up, because Uncle Daddy ended up destroying everything. And then we cut to Anne in Virginia, and Anne isn't happy about Virginia telling Desna about her cruise situation, and Anne is like, hey, I didn't tell you that so that you could go and talk about it with Desna and put a stop to that. And Virginia is like, hey, I didn't mean to hurt you, but then again, you also ended up going after the Claws Up employees. So what's that about, Anne? But yeah, these two are having a fight, and Virginia's like, you know what? Desna isn't going to be happy about what you did to her Claws Up operation, and Desna and quite Anne is like, hey, I'm not afraid of Desna. So this is where Desna is like I have had enough. I need to destroy Clay, and I'm not going to rest until all of his business is done for. And Jen is like, will you make him cry? And Desna is like, yep, I'm going to make him cry. Then we got to Uncle Daddy, Quiet, Anne, and Bryce at the warehouse, and basically they are looking at a tournament where people are like trying to hold like cinder blocks with their D's, which okay. So Uncle Daddy has been talking about continuing his legacy and continuing and expanding his business, and Bryce is like, hey, 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 I have an idea, and this is where Bryce tells Uncle Daddy about the idea about there's this sleep disorder clinic nearby, and people will pay good money in order to sleep well, and he's like, why don't I go and sell my fentanyl patches over there? And Quiet Anne is like, hey, that's low, even for us, but that's a good idea, Bryce. That's a good idea. Then we cut to Polly because she feels conflicted about whether or not she should tell Axel the truth. She ends up calling this medium, and the medium is like, hey, I can tell you whether or not you should tell Axel the truth or not, but it's going to take some work in order to invoke the spirit, invoke the answer. And yeah, basically the medium is telling Polly to give them some money in order for this to work, and Polly basically ignores all of that. Yeah, this is where Desna ends up talking to Virginia and Polly about what the heck they need to do about Uncle Daddy, and Desna's like, "Hey, I'm not going to go for the kneecaps. What I need to do is take away Uncle Daddy's arms, his left arm and his right arm, and that means Ken and Bryce. They need to work for me, and they need to leave Uncle Daddy." And yeah, Desna's like, "I'm going to go and do that." So she ends up talking to Ken, and what Desna wants Ken to do is that he wants Ken to work exclusively for her, and she wants him to leave Uncle Daddy. And Ken is basically going through some emotional stress because he is slowly realizing that things aren't working out between him and Selena, because Selena is busy in New York. She is young, she has a whole new life in front of her. And Desna's like, but Ken, don't you want to give your girlfriend the life that you want her to give, with a lot of money and all of that stuff? So if you work for me, I'll give you what Uncle Daddy is already paying you. Heck, I might even be able to double it. And Ken is like, yeah, I would like to give my girlfriend a good life, so I'll start working for you, Desna. Then we cut to Jen at the other outlet, claws up to. And Tony comes in, and yeah, Tony knows that Jen has been using, and Jen ends up offering Tony some drugs as well. And Tony is like, I'll take them, but I won't use them. And he's like, are you okay, Jen? And Jen is like, I'm feeling stressed, I'm feeling emotional. And this is where Tony ends up giving her a shoulder massage, which she appreciates. And then Polly ends up talking to Virginia about her feeling uneasy about not telling Axel the truth. And Virginia's like, "Hey, you've been lying, huh? So this is something you'll have to deal with yourself." And as these two are going over the inventory, this is where Polly realizes that some of the Oxy has been missing. And of course, Desna isn't happy about it. Desna is like, first Bambi, and now someone else is stealing from us. Put a lock on the Oxy so that we can handle this situation, and I need to get to the bottom of this. And while they're still talking, Ken runs into the salon, and Desna's like, what the heck? And Uncle Daddy is behind him because Uncle Daddy is very angry that Ken decided to work exclusively for Desna. And Uncle Daddy is like, hey Desna, this isn't going to go down well. I'm going to make you pay. And Desna's like, you know what, Clay? I'm not going to rest until I have taken everything from you, or your entire business and everything. And Uncle Daddy is like, nah, you can't do that because I am building a legacy. Then we cut to Bryce and Quiet, and because they ended talking to Bryce's supplier about selling some of the fentanyl to the sleep disorder clinic. And Bryce is like, hey, at first I was a bit jealous about you being very close to Uncle Daddy, but now I realized that I was just being paranoid, and you and I work well together, huh? And Quiet and is like, yeah, Bryce, you have nothing to worry about because everything that we build, you will be the one who will inherit it. And Bryce is like, yeah, I know that. But little does he know that Uncle Daddy isn't going to give him anything because he is focused on raising Quiet Anne's baby as his own. So we cut to the crew talking to Polly about the inventory, and Virginia is like, you know what? If when Desna finds out who has been stealing from her, she is going to basically kill that person. And Georgia is like, yeah, I'm worried about this as well. And Jen, because she's the one who's stealing the Oxy, she's like, maybe the manufacturers shorthanded us, right? And Polly is like, whatever it is, we need to figure this out. So, because Tony also knows that Jen has been stealing from Desna, and Tony is like, are you okay, Jen? And Jen is like, you know what, Tony? I need to stop. I need to go cold turkey, and I need to do this. And Tony's like, I'm proud of you, so more power to you. And then we cut to Virginia noticing a very expensive bag that Georgia is carrying, and Virginia is like, "Okay, I see the bag, your new bag." And Georgia is like, "Yeah, I have the sugar daddy, and I don't have to pay for anything when I'm with him." And yeah, Polly and Virginia are like, "Uh-oh, does that mean that Georgia has been stealing from us and selling the pills to someone else, and that's why she has all of this money?" So Virginia and Polly have started suspecting Georgia, so they break into her room, and this is where they end up finding a lot of stuff in her closet, very expensive branded stuff. And Virginia's like, uh-oh, so Georgia is the one stealing from us, huh? Then, after taking care of Ken, Desna ends up going to Bryce, and this is where Desna is like, Bryce, I need you to start working for me, and I need you to leave Uncle Daddy. And Bryce is like, no, I can't leave Uncle Daddy because he's the only family I got. He respects me, and he's going to leave me everything and all of that stuff. And Desna's like, Bryce, tell me you aren't falling for that. Clay doesn't care about you, but yeah, because Bryce thinks that he is going to inherit everything that Uncle Daddy has built. Of course, he's not going to listen to Desna right now. Then we cut to Desna and Tony sitting in Desna's apartment, and yeah, Desna is like, okay, I wasn't expecting that turning Bryce would be so tough, and this is where Tony gives Desna the suggestion that, you know what, why do you even need Bryce? Why don't you go directly and make contact with his supplier and make a deal for yourself? And Desna is like, yeah, I can do that. So someone knocks the door, and this is where Virginia comes in, and Desna is like, "Okay, Virginia, what happened?" And Virginia tells Desna that, you know what, I guess that it's Georgia who has been stealing pills from us, and I'm loyal to you, Desna, and that's why I told you everything. And Desna is like, you know what, Virginia, loyalty also means that you have to take care of stuff for me. And yeah, basically, Desna is telling Virginia that she needs to kill Georgia. So while those two are talking, Tony is talking to Jen, and Jen is like, okay, I failed. I wasn't able to go cold turkey. So remember the drugs that I gave you earlier? Do you still have them? And Tony is like, yeah, I have them. I'll bring them to you. So Desna and Virginia end up confronting Georgia, and Georgia's like, hey, I didn't steal anything from you guys. You can trust me. You can trust me. And Desna's like, why are you saying that we can trust you? And this is where Georgia tells Desna that Virginia has already told her that Desna ended up killing Bambi, and she was able to keep that a secret. And of course, Desna is furious. Desna is very angry about Virginia telling Georgia that she ended up killing Bambi, and Virginia, yeah, she is in trouble. So we cut to Bryce and Uncle Daddy, and Bryce is like, "Hey, Uncle Daddy, you know what? Even though I realize that you're going to leave everything, all of your business to me, and that you will retire soon, what I need you to understand is that I don't want you to rush things, and I want you to step back whenever you're comfortable." And Uncle Daddy is like, "What the heck are you talking about, Bryce?" And this is where Uncle Daddy tells Bryce that, you aren't going to be the one who's going to continue my legacy. My legacy is going to be continued by Anne's unborn baby because I need someone new. I need someone pure in order to mold that person properly. And yeah, Bryce is angry about it. So Desna and Virginia are talking in the bathroom about what the heck they need to do about Georgia, and Desna is like, "Hey, Virginia, you're the one who allowed this girl to enter our crew, and now you're going to be the one who's going to fix this problem." So we cut to Ken and Selena, and yeah, again, Ken is trying to talk to Selena, but Selena is very, very busy, and Selena doesn't even tell him that she loves him anymore, and she hangs up. And then this is where Polly is like, "Ken, I need to ask you a favor." And Ken is like, "What, Polly?" She's like, "I'm going to marry Axel, and because you are an ordained minister, I would like you to officiate the wedding." And Ken is like, "I'm happy for you, Polly. I'm happy for you, and of course I'll officiate your wedding." And then Polly tells Ken that is she doing the right thing, not telling Axel about the truth about herself. And yeah, Ken is like, "You know what, ignorance is bliss, so do what you want to do, Polly." So Bryce, because he is now an emotional mess after Uncle Daddy told him that he won't be inheriting anything, he ends up kidnapping Anne, and I was like, wow, he ended up kidnapping Anne, her trailer, everything, and yeah, he ends up taking Anne to Desna's house because he's like, "Desna, I was about to kill Anne, and I thought that you wanted to participate. So do you want to kill Anne with me?" And Desna's like, hey, hold up, you can't kill Anne." And I actually like seeing that because even though Anne and Desna still have bad blood between them, Desna isn't okay with basically killing her ex-friend just like that. And she's like, "Bryce, you need to think about what you're doing. Right now, we have the ball in our court. We can use this as a power play against Uncle Daddy. So I need you to calm down. So I need you to take Quiet Anne up into the room and keep her there." So Jen walks in, and Jen is like, "Hey, what's happening? Why am I hearing Quiet Anne in this apartment?" And this is where Jen is like, "Really, Desna, really? Bryce ended up kidnapping Quiet Anne, and you're going to keep her in the apartment?" And Desna is like, "Hey, that's how things need to be done right now." So Virginia, because she wants to show her loyalty to Desna, she is like, "Yep, I need to kill Georgia," and she is still conflicted about it though. So she ends up calling Polly, and Polly is like, hey, Virginia, I don't think that you have it in yourself to become a cold-hearted murderer. So I would advise you to lie to Desna and just help Georgia leave the city to run away." And at first I was like, maybe Virginia will accept Polly's suggestion, but now she ends up doing something very, very bad, and I'm looking forward to seeing how such an action will weigh on her character. So Bryce and Jen talk about what the heck Bryce is doing about Quiet Anne, and Bryce is like, "Hey, I'm doing the right thing because Uncle Daddy is ignoring me for Anne's baby." And Jen is like, "Okay, so you're basically allowing your ego to dictate your actions. Like, Bryce, don't do it." And Bryce is like, "Hey, I'm not going to talk to you right now because you aren't really sane in front of me." Because again, Bryce knows that Jen has been using. So while those two are arguing, Desna goes up to Quiet Anne, and she's like, "Anne, why do you want to continue working with Uncle Daddy? How about I give you an offer? We can work. You can work for me as a 50-50 partner in my business, and that will help you and your baby." And Anne is like, "You know what? I will do anything to give a better life to my child, except work for you, Desna." And Desna's like, okay. If that's how you're going to be, I'm going to let you sit here alone for a little bit longer." So Jen and Bryce are still arguing about Bryce basically kidnapping quite Anne, and Jen doesn't like that. However, there's a knock at the door, and Tony's there, and Jen is like, "Hey, do you have the pills?" And Tony is like, "Yeah, I do." And he ends up giving the pills to Jen, and she goes outside, she crushes the pills, and she basically snorts them up her nose. And I'm like, "Oh, Jen, oh no, oh no." So Uncle Daddy has some supplies that he wants to give to Quiet Anne, so he goes to her trailer, and yeah, the trailer isn't here because Bryce ended up kidnapping her, including the trailer. And Uncle Daddy ends up talking to one of Anne's neighbors, and the neighbor is like, yeah. I thought I was hallucinating, but it turns out that a very bad looking car ended up towing the trailer away, and he ends up describing Bryce's car, and Uncle Daddy is like, yep, I know what happened. So it's time for Polly's wedding, and Virginia and Georgia are walking towards the wedding, but she ends up parking like 2 blocks away. And Georgia's like, okay, so we are going to walk all the way to Desna's house. And Virginia's like, yeah, the parking is free here. So as they're walking, Virginia ends up dropping her purse, and she's like, Georgia, you keep walking, I'll catch up. So she bends down, she takes out the gun, and as Georgia is walking, she points the gun at Georgia. And I'm like, Virginia, why are you doing this? Why? Why can't you just let Georgia run away? But yeah, she is unable to kill Georgia and brings her to the wedding. And Desna is not happy about it. And Desna is like, hey, Virginia, I understand that you couldn't kill Georgia because it's basically your first time, but I need you to handle this because I know that you have it in yourself to kill Georgia. And Virginia's like, yeah, Desna. I think I can do that. So Selena isn't able to make it to the wedding because again she is very busy, and Ken is like, "Hey, I love you. Don't forget about me." And yeah, Selena just hangs up. So this is where Desna's brother Dean is like, I don't appreciate the fact that Quiet Anne is upstairs. Why is she upstairs? And Desna's like, well, Uncle Daddy is mad at her, and I think that he might end up attacking her or something. And Desna's like, yeah, Eve, and yeah, Dean is like, yeah, Eve, Uncle Daddy isn't a very good person, so my sister is protecting Quiet Anne because Quiet Anne is a friend, so that's a good thing. And Quiet Anne shouldn't wait 2 months. She shouldn't wait until to give birth to her baby, and she should leave town sooner. And that gives Desna an idea. And then Ken ends up officiating Polly's and Axel's wedding. And as Polly is saying her vows, this is where Ken realizes that, yep, things between him and Selena aren't doing great, and he needs to talk to her. So he hurriedly marries the two, and he's like, I need to go, and he goes off. And Virginia's like, hey, I need to head out with Georgia as well because I need to handle something. And Desna's like, yep, I know what you're saying, so go handle it. So, because of what Dean talked about with Desna goes upstairs with Bryce, and she's like, "Hey, Anne, I understand that you are working for Uncle Daddy because you need the money to start a new life for yourself and your child. So, how about I give you the money? How about I give you $100,000 and you can leave right now?" And Anne is like, "Do you really have that type of money?" And Desna's like, "Hey, from here there, I can collect it. I can collect it. Just say yes." But before quite Anne can say yes, this is where Uncle Daddy barges into the bedroom, and he's like, "What the heck are you doing, Bryce? What the heck are you doing, Desna? Why are you taking Quiet Anne away from me?" And Quiet Anne is like, Uncle Daddy, I appreciate everything that you have done for me, but I can't continue working with you right now." But Uncle Daddy is like, "Hey, you don't have the money, right?" And Quiet is like, "I have the money now because Desna's the one who gave me all of the money to start a new life, so I have to go." And Desna is like, "Yeah, Clay, bye bye." And Clay is like, "This isn't over. The war is still going on, and I will get back at you." And I really think that, yeah, Uncle Daddy is going to do something, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he'll retaliate. So Jen is talking with Tony on the phone, and she thanks him about the drugs and also says, I love you, Tony." And Desna overhears her, and Desna's like, why are you saying I love you to my boyfriend?" And Jen is like, hey, it's not what it sounds like. I was just thanking him for doing some repairs at the salon." And Desna's like, mm-hmm. So she tries calling Tony, but he doesn't pick up. And Desna's like, okay, so he is free to pick up your calls, but he can't pick up mine. What's happening, Jen? And Jen is like, hey, I'm telling you, it's not like that. And Desna's like, you know what? I don't have time for this. I have an empire to run. So if you want to go hook up with Tony, be my guest. And Jen is like, you know me. You know that I'm not going to hook up with Tony, Desna. But yeah, Desna doesn't have time, and she walks away. And Bryce ends up overhearing this as well. And Bryce is like, okay, so you're using pills and you're also going to cheat on me with your best friend's boyfriend. What the heck, Jen? And Jen is like, I need you to calm down, Bryce. And Bryce is like, no, no, no. I am done listening to you. I'm done caring what you think. And he storms off. So we cut to Ken and he's talking to Selena on the phone and they're breaking up. And Selena is like, oh, really? We're breaking up? And Ken is like, yeah, you're young. You have a full future in front of you. I don't want to tie you down. And Selena's like, yeah, I understand that. And you'll always be in my heart, Ken. And Ken is like, yeah, bye. And then there's this weird little scene where Ken ends up finding a stray cat and he's like, hey, you still love me, right? And he picks up the cat. It's raining. And I guess Ken is going to be a cat lady, I guess. I'm not really sure. Or maybe the owner of the cat will come and take the cat away from him. So Virginia and Georgia are driving back to their house, and Virginia stops, and Georgia's like, why are we stopping here? Virginia's like, well, it's raining, I can't see the road. And this is where she points a gun at Georgia, and Georgia's like, what the heck, Virginia? And she runs out of the car, and then these two start fighting, and Georgia's like, why are you trying to kill me, Virginia? I didn't do anything. I didn't steal from Desna. But of course, Virginia doesn't trust her. And yeah, they continue fighting, and the bridge breaks, and the both of them fall in the river. I think it's in the water below. I think it's kind of a creek. And they fall below. And yeah, this is where I was like, okay, Virginia, so you're really trying to kill Georgia, huh? And yeah, Virginia picks up a stone and she bashes Virginia's head with it, and then she ends up drowning Georgia. And I'm like, wow. When it comes to killing people, there's a difference between pulling the trigger and basically killing a person with a gun and using your own hands to drown a person. Like, wow, Virginia, wow. And yeah, Georgia's dead body is still there, and Virginia walks away, and I'm looking forward to seeing how such an action will emotionally weigh on Virginia. So it's time for Polly and Axel to basically spend their wedding night. And yeah, Polly's like, Axel, there's something I need to tell you. And Axel is like, well, can it wait like 10 to 12 minutes? And Polly's like, yeah, it can wait. So they end up being intimate together. And of course, Axel dies. Axel dies. And Polly's like, help. So I guess in the upcoming episodes, we're going to see Axel's kids trying to prevent Polly from taking all of their father's money, I guess, but let's see what happens. So Desna is outside the post office because she's talking to Charnay, and she's like, Charnay, I guess her name's Charnay, right? She's like, Charnay, I handled Uncle Daddy, Claws Up is back, baby, so come on out so I can talk to you about it. But yeah, Charnay doesn't say anything, and she hangs up, and then Tony calls Desna, and Tony is like, hey, I'm sorry I wasn't able to pick up your call earlier. How are you? And Desna, as she's talking to Tony, she notices that the DEA ended up raiding the post office and they have arrested Charnay. And as that's happening, this is where Desna notices that Tony is working for the DEA as well. Which, I mean, I guess the fandom kind of knew that there was something up with Tony. Because he was, the moment that he appeared on screen, it just felt, something felt off about him. And yeah, it's revealed that Tony is working for the DEA. And Tony's like, hey, Desna, are you still on the phone, baby? I'll meet you later. And Desna's like, yeah, see you later. I can't wait to see you. And this is where the episode ends. And I'm looking forward to seeing how Desna is going to try and handle Tony now. With 3 more episodes left, anything can happen. And I will be doing a written review of this for the Geek Theory. The link to the review will be down in the comment section below as soon as the review is published. Let me know what you thought of the episode. And also, do you really think that Desna has what it takes to kill Jen after she realizes that Jen has been stealing from her? Let me know. But yeah, until next time, stay happy, stay safe, stay blessed. See you guys later.